The most eerie story that I've ever heard, and the most eerie place I've ever visited, is Skidmore, Missouri. Skidmore is a small town in northwest Missouri that's surrounded by nothing but cornfields and silence. But when I visited, something in the air just felt wrong, like the town itself is holding its breath. In 1981, Ken McElroy, the town bully, was murdered in broad daylight, while everyone in town watched. But when the police came and asked, no one saw a thing. Growing up in Missouri and knowing this story all my life, I felt like this story was the inspiration for the Patrick Swayze movie Roadhouse. But it wouldn't be the last high-profile, nationally known story from Skidmore. Just 19 years later, in the year 2000, Wendy Gillenwater was beaten to death by her boyfriend and dragged down the street. No one stepped in to help, but unlike the Ken McElroy case, this one was solved. And 2 cases like that would have been enough violence for Skidmore for a whole century. But just the following year, in 2001, 20-year-old Branson Perry disappeared from his yard. He went to put a pair of jumper cables in the shed and vanished. No witnesses, no struggles, and days later, the jumper cables reappeared in the shed, right where he left them, which I think is probably the most eerie part of any of these Skidmore cases. I personally remember trucks driving around with Branson's face on it, "Have you seen me?" billboards posted all over Kansas City. But to this day, the mystery of what happened to Branson Perry was never solved. Then just 3 years later, Branson's cousin, Bobby Jo Stinnett, was murdered in her home. She was 8 months pregnant, and a woman found her online using the screen name Fisher4Kids, traveled to Skidmore, Missouri, and cut her baby from her womb. This violent crime also made national headlines, and the woman was captured and later sentenced to death. 4 brutal, haunting cases happened in Skidmore, a town of just 245 people, in a matter of 25 years, including 3 young people who were all related to each other, dying 4 years apart. And these are just the cases that we know about. The locals don't like to talk. I visited Skidmore and it had a very haunted feeling. But I wouldn't say it's cursed, it's just quiet. But sometimes the quietest places are the ones that scream the loudest if you know what to listen for. And that sums up Skidmore pretty well. Do you think it's just a coincidence, or do you think something darker is hiding in Skidmore?